Thanks for staying with us. Sorry, we sincerely apologize for the technical issues we're having. So we can't hear our guests in Abuja, but I think we'll just discuss the issue of the
some of the
all
myths.
the various issues, the myths that we're having. So hopefully we can bring her back another time to discuss it. So one of the myths, ladies, that we're talking about was the bathing. I mean, I don't even know how they bath all of us in this our country. All of us went through that process. Do you have any experience?
Serious one. They will use that local sponge.
Can you
imagine? You know the local sponge?
Yes, no, that local
that is very painful to the skin. They will scrub the armpit,
with black
then
soap.
they will now raise the child from the leg upside down. Shake. Then by the time they are using oil to and the baby lotion to massage and everything, they will bend the back.
The hand,
baby
carry
will cry,
the hand to the back.
Hey, don't worry. The baby will be fine. When they are done, the baby will sleep 4 hours straight.
Sometimes I think
that's why I like
sleep almost to the next day.
In fact,
because
for a very long time.
In the evening, like the baby was 12 hours straight.
Yes, so
you have not talked about the water.
Do you know why the baby is sleeping like that?
Why?
He's about to cross over. Where is this have come? Let me come to another family, another country. What?
Let's talk about another
okay, so there's another one in my place. So when they give it to you, they scrape your hair and then they remove your tonsils. Like right now, I don't have tonsils.
What? Your tonsils?
Are you serious?
Yes, I don't have. If I open my mouth now, you will see it's clear. There's nothing.
No, but they say open. Let me see.
Hey,
there is nothing.
Why?
So I don't have problem with inflamed tonsils. If you see the way they do it, the guy there's a knife like this, sharp. The knife is curved. He will just remove it.
What's the explanation for that?
Okay, so you won't have issues with. You see, right now I don't have anything, any throat issue, any problem.
So it's working.
Yeah, it's working.
I'm told our guest is back, so let me see if she can actually address that. Okay. Hello, madam. Did you hear us?
I now know the problem of our politicians.
Did they remove
Hello,
their
madam.
tonsils?
Can you hear us?
They went through this thing.
Okay, I can't hear her. I hope she can hear us because I can't hear her. Okay, go ahead.
So what she's trying to describe is what we call the local uvullectomy. So they use this sickle-like knife.
Yeah.
They put it in the mouth and they cut off the uvula. Now, the uvula does a lot of work in protecting the airway when you're eating. So when you're swallowing, it kind of covers the airway so that food will not go into the airway. All right? And then, of course, that area is what prevents infections. You know, your tonsils get enlarged when you have infections because it's trying to produce what I like to call soldiers to fight the infections. So all this defense is lost when your uvula is cut. And unfortunately, a lot of children have died because their uvulas were removed from bleeding, from infections, you know, because the process is not even sanitary. Yeah. They just get a random man to bring that sickle-like knife and they just cut it off. And they give you some herbs and they say you should swallow and they give you peppery food and all that so that you can heal fast.
Hey.
So a lot of children have actually died because of that. And
thank God you survived though. You won't have been here, my sister.
It is not to be done.
Okay. Another myth. We have a few more minutes
to all of us.
See, please, there's one that is not on this list. When they crepe the baby's hair, they will shave the head and then the baby will have whole blood all over the head.
I think that's religious. I'm not sure.
It's not for everybody.
It's not religious.
No, it's not for everybody.
They scrape. Is it okay to scrape a baby's hair?
God that born you with hair.
Well, it's a religious thing mostly. They scrape the hair, I think, on the 7th or the 8th day of life, and so that the child can now grow, you know, new hair from there. Well, for a term baby, that's okay. Especially if you're not in a cold environment. If you're in a cold environment, you have to cover that head for some time so that the hair can grow, because the hair also does that, you know, to protect the skin and all
cold,
that.
Yeah.
But for babies that are born preterm, we don't advise you to cut the hair until the baby attains a particular weight. So they would advise you when you go back to the hospital for follow-up, when the child is, you know, able to cut the hair. So it's okay to cut the baby's hair.
There's one I need you to address. There's one that I know I did. Okay. When my daughter had a skin infection, I started cutting leaf in my office. There's this red leaf. Everybody was going to cut. Yes. The whole of TVC red leaf. Now me cut them. I was cutting every day. I'm boiling. The whole house was red. I don't know if it works, but I kept bathing my child. I don't know. I don't, because I kept bathing for weeks. On weeks. I mean, eventually it went, but it took a long time. I thought it was something like magical. I thought it was supposed to be fixed overnight. But I mean, I see when I drive into the old office. I saw people coming to court. I was laughing.
Yeah.
Keep boiling this one. So I think it worked. I would let me not pretend.
Say it the way it is so.
But you see, I don't think it worked like that. But it worked, Sha.
Even the medication in the hospital does not work like that.
Doesn't work like
There's
that.
a process.
It's for
so madam, this leaf that we used to buy bath these children, does it work? It's a red leaf now.
It's a red leaf.
Well,
this is popular.
A lot of medications that we use, they come from
our plants.
Herbs, from leaves, from trees, and some things like that. So it's possible. I don't know this red leaf that you're describing.
Everybody knows
it's popular, yeah.
It's quite popular.
I'm surprised. Is it to treat illa?
Yes, rashes. It has some medicinal aspects to it. So it's possible that it worked. And then it can also be a possibility that your child had a viral infection that manifested as a skin rash. And viral infection will come and go by itself. So it probably also went by itself. So it could have been anything really.
Okay. What about force feeding? When some kids don't lose appetite for,
then you bend
the child, and that's very fat woman. Every neighborhood has that fat woman that is an expert at feeding children that don't eat. You now put it in between her laps and start forcing that to get down the throat. Please, what do you think about that? I feel like those kids are...
It's not what she thinks, it's what is.
What is?
She will tell you the truth.
Yes, so force feeding, as I would always describe it, is attempted murder.
Attempted murder.
Because the process is, you cover the child's nose. So that child is unable to breathe. And then you pour in the food. So the child opens the mouth, trying to breathe, and then takes in the food. Now, what can happen is that this food can enter the airway and obstruct the airway.
Attempted murder.
I think YK agrees with the attempted murder.
And
all of them should be charged with attempted murder.
Parents should be arrested when that happens. It's attempted murder, really. Because children have actually died. So in that case, we say it's a murder case. The child died, not one, not two, not three. I've seen a lot of children that, died. Some of them had serious aspiration pneumonitis. So the lungs is filled with pap. And the child is unable to breathe. You go to the hospital, they have to place on oxygen. The child is struggling to survive.
So we survived because it was our destiny to survive.
It should not be done. If the child is not eating, it means that the child does not want to eat. You have to just keep trying till you find what that child wants to eat. Some people survived it.
Yes, I did. We did.
We all did.
Anybody.
Anyway, so there's a natural way.
There's died, and they are not here to tell the story.
Okay, so there's a natural way that once a child is constipated, there's a way you have to force the child to poo. So they will use matchstick, rub, then put it inside the child's bum bum. Then there's this tin of milk. They will put a hole. Then they will put hot water. And then the baby...
Where do you see all this thing?
And then the baby will start pooing. And immediately the baby poos. Honestly, the baby becomes really...
I feel sorry for your children. I think your children have gone through all this because the way you know about it. My gosh.
Jesus.
Madam, please.
Help us.
Is that medically proven?
Yes, it's actually... It's a common thing that people do. Okay. It's a form of enema. Okay, so enema is actually a medical thing. We do that in some cases when it is necessary. There are techniques on how to go about it. If we need it, we actually even explain to the mother. We teach the mother how to do it. Because if you don't do it right, number one, if you're doing it for a baby, a newborn, especially a baby that is exclusively breastfed, they can be so-called constipated for days, 6 days, 7 days, no poo. It's not like they are constipated. It's just that their body is using up the food and everything. Breastfed babies actually do that. They can go days without pooing. Then they will poo. Some days they will poo like 7 times.
Good information.
Some days they will not poo at all. So when you do that, sometimes babies, babies are soft life people. They like soft life. So they don't even want to try to poo again. So they will wait for you and say, okay, when you are ready, come and help me. Help me bring out this food.
All right, there's one I have to ask you.
It becomes a problem.
This one me, I know I was forced to do because I didn't understand it. They said that you have to put breast milk in the baby's eye to cure jaundice. So, when the baby is born, the yellow eyes, and then my thing was, I'm not sure it was my mom or my mother-in-law, somebody was just saying, you have to put breast milk, you have to put it in the eye. And we had to do that. I don't know. Could you tell us, what do you think about that? Is that also medically proven?
Okay. So it's not medically proven. Jaundice and breast milk in the eye have absolutely nothing to do together. Jaundice is due to breakdown of red blood cells and all that. Let me save that. Okay. So when the pigment is in the body, that is when it shows in the eye. So whether you put, you know, breast milk in the eye or not, the pigment is in the body and it's doing what it's doing. When you put breast milk in the eye, instead you're introducing, you know, infection into the baby's eyes, and then the baby can get infected, have conjunctivitis, the eyes start to bring out discharge and all that. Some people even put pawpaw water, you know, or ripe pawpaw. They put the water in the eye to cure jaundice. Jaundice can only be treated in the hospital, either by putting the child under a special light that we call phototherapy, or in extreme cases by exchanging the blood. But really, a lot of babies would have jaundice in the first few days of their lives. It's normal and it's to go by itself. Or for the ones that need help, you have to go to the hospital to get it done. It cannot be done at home. So please don't put breast milk in your baby's eyes, and don't put pawpaw water either.
What about putting a spoon in the mouth when the baby is convulsing?
This is a very dangerous thing to do. When the baby is convulsing, you don't put anything in the mouth. You don't put spoon, because, especially for a baby that has teeth, if you put spoon, the spoon can remove one of the teeth, because the force of convulsion is actually a lot. So you can displace the tooth, and the tooth can be aspirated. So it goes into the airway and it blocks off the airway. So the baby can actually get injured or even die from that. Also, you can injure the child. I mean, putting a spoon, I even heard one that put spanner, okay, and removed like 4 of the baby's teeth.
Oh. Hey! So, spanner. Jesus Christ. No, human beings.
Baby. You know, you let baby convulse, put baby on the flat surface, maybe on the floor, remove anything sharp, anything that can injure the child, and allow the child convulse. If there's any, you know, saliva coming out of the baby's mouth, you just turn the baby to the side and you wipe it till the child is done convulsing.
Because of the time, there was a question I had asked you before we had the technical issue concerning the bathing of the baby so that they don't have body odors. You know, you scrub and throw the baby, and you... Could you just give it
you almost kill the baby.
Before I can say almost kill the baby, but, you know, you throw the baby up and you scrub with palm oil and the whole works. Yeah. Does it really stop the baby from having body odor?
It has nothing to do with body odor. You know, when the baby is out, the baby has some, you know, things on the body that you just clean up. In fact, these days, they don't even bath the baby in the first 24 hours. They just clean the baby with olive oil. And that's it. They give you your baby. And then later, maybe the next day, they will come and give the baby a soft bath with just wash clothes. That's all you need. Wash clothes, water, and a mild soap. You see, body odor comes from the action of bacteria on the skin. So we have bacteria on our skin. And then when you produce sweat, the bacteria would, you know, feed on that area and then produce that horrible smell. So really, body odor has nothing to do with your baby not being not receiving a good bath. I mean, if you look at people from Western countries, they bath their babies like twice a week. So really, but for us here, we have to scrub. You raise the armpits, you scrub everywhere, because you don't want babies to have body odor. But it has absolutely nothing to do with body odor.
Can you just enlighten people what harm are they doing to the baby by scrubbing and twisting the arm and twisting the leg, holding it upside down?
Makes the baby flexible. They can
that bath.
And sleep very well.
First bath.
Makes them sleep very well.
The dangers, please.
You know that babies are very fragile, especially the skin of babies, and that's why you should not even put herbal concoction in the water you're using to bath your baby, because the skin is so fragile, and you know the skin is like the first line of protection that we have against microbes. So when you scrub the skin, you are removing layers of the skin, and you expose this baby to a lot of infection. And unlike adults, when you have infection and then it just shows on the skin, it's not like that for babies. When they have infection, even if it's from the skin, it goes into the blood and spreads everywhere. It can spread to the brain, to the lungs, anywhere. So it can cause a lot of problems because you want to give your baby a good bath. So it is it's not necessary, just something very mild, and that is fine. Then coming to the bending and twisting, thank God babies are very flexible, so it's allowed, you know, they allow us to do all those things to them. I mean, if somebody comes to you and tries to bend you, they know what they get in return. But please avoid it. You can cause fractures to the baby and injury.
Thank you, Dr. Adewale, for joining us this morning. I appreciate your presence, and we sincerely apologize for some of the technical issues. All right, that's all we can take on today's show. Hope you learned a few things. See you again tomorrow. Bye for now.